Good morning, everyone. We are doing pre-London Open analysis. We have a fresh week, and let's take a look at the news for this week this morning. And this morning, we've got actually plenty of news for Euro. We've got French flash sales services PMI. We've got then German manufacturing flash sales PMI, and then we've got GBP at 9:30 as well. So it's very eventful, and also USD in the afternoon. So literally not every single, but three of major currencies are getting red news today. So that is going to be an interesting watch. Now, let's look at things from technical perspective, and of course what we can see is that we are still in a downtrend in terms of weekly. We are running in an efficient order flow. However, we are in a pullback phase at the moment. We have opened with a new candle on weekly, and obviously now we will be establishing if that candle this week is going to close bullish or bearish. Looking at monthly, just out of interest, because it is end of the month at the end, well, start of next week, it's end of the month. So we will be observing that data from that perspective as well. Now, going into daily, what we can see is that we had breaks of structure to the downside. Okay, so price was taking those lows out, and now I've decided that as I am marking things, I will be switching visibility, because I always say I'll do it later. I never do it. So then my charts are going to be a lot cleaner for you. Then we had another low here that the price had taken out, and what we saw is that price grabbed from this premium here orders. Then it did the same, grabbing orders from this supply area as well, and then the price moved to the downside. Another thing that we can see is that we had change of character on a daily time frame. Okay, and after that change of character, price went down to the wick of that daily and swept it, and then started pulling back to the upside. So what we can say about the trend is that the trend is down. That is running in inefficient order flow. However, we are in the corrective market still to the upside. We finally have reached the wick that we have been talking about, especially after the change of character. So what we said was that here we had the chalk, so change of character to the downside. Again, I'm going to do all of this here. So we have clean charts and we had the chalk. Then what we highlighted to ourselves is, well, the price here has a daily supply to work with, but we are specifically interested in this wick because it is a buy to sell wick that potentially on lower time frames is a flip. So this is where the price is at the moment. And another thing that I am going to highlight is that over here we had a daily order block. So I'm going to put here OB daily. One thing that I'm going to do is, again, on hours we don't need to really see it. Days, that's fine. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it lighter, and I'm going to make this text visible. So we do have daily point of interest over here, and this is where we picked up more orders from at that time. Now we also know that from this is swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low. So in terms of daily, the swing high is still holding. Internally, this is the high, this is the low that took out. Well, to be fair, it would be this low here, because then we had some tiny pullbacks, etc., etc. And this is where the price is sitting in a premium of this leg that created a change of character on daily time frame. Now, 4H. Let's take a look at the 4H time frame. So in terms of 4H, what we can also see is that we had multiple, and actually one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this visible on 4H time frame, because that is a useful information from daily that we do want to carry on 4H. So here we have hourly, and we go into the 4H. So what we can see here that this has been a break of structure to the downside on daily as well as on 4H. So this would be our swing high, and this would be our swing low. Then we had a pullback and price created inefficient order flow, and it continued to move the price to the downside. So when the price eventually reacted here, it reacted from the premium of this high to this low, and this was a premium area that was here based on daily and based on 4H premium as well. So a very strong area that the price had returned to. After that, price took out the demand, and that demand on 4H was the last internal swing that was driving the price to the upside. So here, and this is more obviously minor on 4H, so break of structure down, because this is the swing low, but we had break of structure down. Price took out the demand that was driving the price down to the downside, and then obviously that then created us the high and the low, like we said, to this point. And now this is where the price is back in a premium. So we've got the high. I just want to highlight to you. We've got the low that the price created here. And then we started having pullbacks. It was inefficient. Then we had price sweeping those lows. Okay, grabbing all of the liquidity, picking up more orders from this demand. And then we can see series of breaks of structures to the upside internally, where then price had picked up orders from the discounted area, continued pushing the price to the upside as well. And again, what I'm going to do, this is hourly. To be fair, on minutes, that might be useful information. So we are going to keep that as well. Always kind of one time frame down would be useful to keep it. And then again, then we have price taking those highs out. Okay, this structurally taking it out. Oopsie. And then we had the price mitigating again. So we had the low. And we literally went back to the very extreme, and we swept it very so slightly on 4H and on 15 minutes and on 1 minute. So we swept it ever so slightly, okay, which on lower timeframes could be considered a break, and as one of potentially first areas that the price is going to break. Here, what we can also see on supply, by the way, what I've just noticed, that we have 15 minutes flip, that is potentially going to be 15 minutes on lower time frame. It is visible on 4H that this was a demand, it became a supply. So over here, we had a failed reaction. Okay, so obviously that also makes it a quite strong area. Another thing that we are seeing is that previously the price reacted to the wick. Okay, so it created liquidity here in my eyes, and now that liquidity has been swept. So we have liquidity definitely sitting here. And now what I want to discuss with you is that in terms of 4H, of course, the next high to be taken out has to be this high. And on 4H, we need price to close with the body. So the way I am seeing the price is that on 4H, we had price sweeping those lows, grabbing a lot of liquidity, which has sent the price up. It grabbed, so let's now zoom out. It grabbed the liquidity from here, sent the price up. Price created liquidity sitting right below the supply. Now the price has tapped into a supply. We will be watching if the price is going to give us some reactions down, or if the price is going to potentially come back into those areas here. We know that above this high, we do have price. Well, we do have some open orders. To be fair, the price kind of, grabbed the premium. We do have a lot of unmitigated areas because it was one of those days where the price was just dropping, giving no entry. So we have like points of interest in there, but the leg is mitigated. One thing that we do know, which I'm going to go back, is when we created this high and this low, we have come back into this area here, which was on daily a point of interest. Okay, but we never actually grabbed anything from the premium. Here we have sweep of liquidity, and this is the extreme, and this is one of the first areas that the price may want to come back to, and this is where I think, will have orders open. Okay, so the way I am seeing this is as a buildup of liquidity, because we do have equal highs. The price is still running bullish at the moment, so we do not have a change of character on 4H. If you can see, this is not a change of character. This is a change of character on 15 minutes, for sure. We will find a change of character there. But if you look at demands, none of them had been taken out. This hasn't been taken out. It has only been swept. So I think that internally on 4H, we are still going up. Okay, I don't think we have finished going up. Of course, we will have to observe what the price is going to do, and only because the price is planning to go there on 4H does not mean that, you know, internally on 15 minutes it is not going to trade trend bearish, etc., etc. But now looking at it, that we have still liquidity here, that actually when we created this swing high and this swing low, we never tapped back into the premium. This is our first premium area. We also potentially have an area here, actually as a small flip on lower time frames, if you can see. And of course, we also have this extreme. And this extreme, has left plenty of imbalance here. So we did grab some liquidity. It has been swept, so I'm going to highlight that. We have a sweep of liquidity over here. Okay, this really nicely swept everything to the left, but we do have still plenty of imbalance right up to here, actually, that has been left. And, we will be watching and seeing what the price is going to do. And just to confirm that over here, high, low, everything's mitigated. The leg is mitigated. Of course, we would have some areas in an extreme, but on this leg, there are some areas. And then also, hold on, high, low. In terms of daily, this is the reason why we reacted here, because this was the first 4H point of interest inside of the daily premium, but it did not cross over with the 4H. So for that reason, the price may still have some business left up here on 4H time frame. And also I'm going to highlight just ever so slightly this supply there. Okay, that it could be a flip, and obviously we are going to investigate it on lower time frame. I'm going to drop this liquidity lower that is just sitting above, and this is essentially what I am seeing. I did not get a break to the downside on 4H. Okay, I did not get a change of character, and obviously on daily we are seeing, and a weekly, that price is still pulling back. And on those higher time frame, 4H would be kind of the sign to tell us, right, look, I am done doing X, Y, and Z. We did not break below on 4H. We swept it. Therefore, on 4H, the structure is still pointing up. Okay, and internally, we obviously have taken this out, but then we are looking for the price to take that internal swing to the upside. Obviously, in terms of swing, we have them here, but this is what we would be looking for the price to do. Now, let's go to 15 minutes and understand what is going on here. So first of all, I want to highlight and go into the data that we have highlighted here to the left. I want to break that down. Okay, so what you can see is, let's actually look at the mitigations and if those areas are valid areas. So here, well, let's do it this way at first. So first of all, we have price here. This is the high. That's how we have to start. So low, high, then we have low, then we have the high. Eventually, the low has been taken out. Then we had a pullback, and then price going down. So those are our kind of legs that we are working with. This is mitigated. This is where the sentiment in the market has changed. And this is where we have the high and the low. And again, this is our first 15 minutes area that is now overlapping with 4H point of interest and with the premium on 15 minutes as well. I choose to take all of those wicks into consideration because even though this is mitigated internally, there will be liquidity there because, as you can see, this wick hasn't swept anything to the left. It swept internal, but it didn't sweep this wick, so therefore there still could be liquidity left. Now let's break it down a little bit more so we can see that this mitigated internally, and then after the pullback, price created a new low, and this hasn't mitigated this price here. However, it regained its efficiency. That's why it has the possibility to hold. So it still stands that we would have, so now this is taken out, still stands that we would have two areas there. Again, both in my eyes are filled with liquidity. Again, this swept the price to the left, but it did not really tap into this supply properly, as you can see. So I think this is also filled with liquidity. So I would be kind of, just be wary of that we have this liquidity here. And actually, before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. And we have liquidity, and we have potentially liquidity here as well. This can be visible on minutes, and then this can be visible on minutes as well, I guess, because it's an important piece of information. So this is where we would be in terms of the price. Now, another thing that we would be looking at is, of course, then swings that happened here, right? Because this is the important information that we are working with right now. So at one point, somewhere down here, this is where price on 15 minutes, and this is when now I'm going to create this. I'm going to make it only visible on 15 minutes. Perfect, already visible only on 15 minutes, and copy and paste it. And we had our high that has been broken. So we had break of structure to the upside, and this is on 15 minutes swing high. This was the swing high because here we had the low, high, price taking the low and mitigating and pushing the price down. So this was our swing to the upside. Then the price mitigated it. It did not mitigate 15 minutes areas. However, it mitigated the buy to sell, or sell to buy rather, candles. So we had a demand there. Then the price had this move to the upside over here. Then we had some minor breaks of structure. Okay, so we have here. Then price returned all the way down. And honestly, on 15 minutes, I was like, this is the first sign that the swing low is taken out. Okay, because we take into consideration wicks. Okay, so this looks like a swing break of structure to the downside. However, as we can see, so this would be the high that would be responsible for the breakdown. But as soon as the price did that, the price said, no, I'm not breaking it. Actually, the sentiment is still up. So what the price did very well on Friday, it was tricking us into buys, or tricked me into buys, because I was going with the swings, although we recognize that this is liquidity, and essentially price had to grab all of the liquidity. And we had liquidity here as well because it was all mitigated. It swept all of that liquidity. But then if someone would say, well, now we are in a bearish market because we've got a new swing high and low, and they would start selling everywhere here, this is where they created even more liquidity. So they were just creating liquidity after liquidity after liquidity. So now to me, this is my swing low, and this is my swing high here. I'm just doing a break of structure up. So this is a break of structure to the upside, which we can see that not only do we have wick, we also have a body break. So here, this is our swing low, and this is our swing high. So I am looking for the price to continue to move to the upside. So we have the swing low, the swing high. Okay, before I break down the last leg, we grab the liquidity, which also I'm going minutes, hours, days, weeks, months can go. Also, this demand can stay only on minutes. We don't need to see it on anywhere else. And also, of course, I want to highlight that we had come back into the very extreme, and we have swept this here. So we had liquidity sweep. So that's what I'm going to do, liquidity sweep. And that liquidity sweep drove the price to the upside majorly. Okay, so at the moment, as you can see, what we have, this was our low, high, low, high. We had tiny pullback to here. Price did the minor break up, but we had all of these orders open. Price came back, which could have indicated that we have taken the swing low out. But straight after, the price was like, no, I'm not. It was just a sweep. And now we are waiting for the price to create a low and continue to move to the upside. So let's see what are our areas in the market that we have. So what I am seeing here is that in our discount area, and let me just adjust these properly. Okay. There. Oh, a little bit too thin. I need to see what is going on. So let me stretch it out. And again, this is going to be on just 15 minutes. Other time frames, I don't need to see that. So our first area here, we've got a failed reaction. Okay. So over here, we have a very nice demand. I would be buying from this demand without a doubt. Now, why I like this demand? For a lot of reasons. So one of the reasons is, well, we have a swing low, we have a swing high. It's a first demand in a discounted area. It is also a failed reaction. And this failed reaction is quite a strong failed reaction because we have also a lot of interaction here. Okay, so again, let me just remove it from daily, monthly, etc. So I very, very much like this area. Okay, it's a great area, of course. Let's just see a few things about this area that we need to explore. So here, liquidity, plenty of it. Okay, so we have a lot of it sitting. So I'm going to tell you this. If I get a chock, I will buy from this area, willing to be stopped out if the price wants to grab liquidity. If I get stopped out, I'll wait for the sweep and then I'll re-enter again. Or if the price sweeps straight away without inducement, I'm also cool with that. So either way, I'm going to enter. That's my plan. Either way, I'm going to enter from this area. Now, obviously, we are going to break it down on 1 minute to fully understand what is going on. Another thing that I'm seeing here is that we have more liquidity. So we have more liquidity sitting around this area. And what I can also see is that now we are looking at substructural price action, and we had the low creating the high, and this low at the moment is still holding. However, it created equal, equal highs. Okay, fine. So that is absolutely, absolutely fine. Now, another thing, now we're going to look at the nitty gritty, is that we had price pushing up, price pushing down, creating a chock, price coming back to a supply, and price now taking out those internal structures and now potentially coming back into the premium to continue to move to the downside before the price potentially moves to the upside. Okay, so that is my plan. And what we can see is that we have change of character up and we have change of character down. Change of character, hold on. Change of character down, okay. And as we got that, the price returned back into the premium. We had the high, low, price returned back into the premium and into the wick that is built. We've got a buildup of nice supply order flow, sellers order flow at the moment, and then the price internally took this low out, so we have a break of structure down. Did you do it? And now we also have price from this high to this low here, actually, because then here we started having a pullback. Price came back to a premium, which there also was a flip there, and grabbed more orders. It was a flip over here. Okay, it was a demand, supply, etc. So now at the moment we are looking for the price to do precisely what we said that we want for the price to do and move to the downside before it moves to the upside. So this is kind of our plan and how we are looking for the price to move. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is just do this. I'm just going to take a screenshot and go on, Carl, you can.
Where it's just reacting to this demand, where the liquidity was created.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It then created a change of character here.
Yeah.
Would you be worried about that, or would you still see this as
no, because this demand is insignificant to me. So because it's to be fair, look, I'm looking at it from the swings perspective. So I want for the price, because we broke a swing leg, I want a deeper pullback to the downside because we took a swing out. Now, if you look at the price internally, we've got the high, the low. I always say it other way around. Here, we've got the price low, high, actually inefficient order flow. Then we also have low, high, inefficient order flow. So all we have here is inefficient order flow, and this is the reason why I am looking for the price to come back into the demand. Price reacts to the demand and does a change of character, but this demand is a weak demand. So if the price does a change of character in the middle of nowhere or of the weak demand, it doesn't bother me at all. If the price does it in a significant area, this is when I start being more concerned. Also, this is only a 15 minutes demand area, and here we tapped into a strong area of a supply. So we are going, and after we broke the swing structure to the upside as well, we are likely to get a stronger reaction to the downside. Chatwin, go on.
Hi, Paulina. Just had a quick one about this one. So basically for me, where the chalk happened on the upside over here, can I annotate?
Of course.
It's this area over here. I did not consider, can you see my thing?
No.
Okay, drawing now, okay. This thing over here, I did not consider this to be a pullback. So for me, it was just like directly till here. And that's why this demand is like a valid demand.
Oh, right, okay.
Because it got like...
Okay, so it could be a valid demand, but it is inefficient demand. So even though you did not consider this a pullback, which is good actually, it's running inefficiently because everything here is inefficient. So you should not be interested in that demand anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if it broke the high, then it would be an efficient demand,
Yes,
right?
if it came back again
yeah.
to a demand and then broke the high, it would become efficient and we could continue trading it to the upside. Make sense? Yeah, cool, fantastic. And also, Carl, have I answered your question?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question about if it broke the high and be efficient again, but that's fine. That's good.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Let me just type this. I'll just share this before we move on. All right, now let's break everything down on 1 minute. So here, see, now we've got a change of character to the downside. So don't always, that's the reason why we are looking at the price from the perspective of efficiency, because if something's inefficient, it is not a strong area in the market. The thing is, price could still react from it, and price could still here take more orders and just go up. Only because I say that it's inefficient and not in line with my rules doesn't mean that price is not going to do it. Okay, of course he may, but we are looking at it from a different more in-depth perspective. So this is the reason why we do not consider every demand and every supply, and this is how you build consistency, by just consistently following the same thing and doing it over and over again. But the price may as well just come here and just explode to the upside. It may, the price again can do whatever you would like to do. So All right, the price is moving down. Let's look at the areas that the price could come back to. And of course, before I move into anything else, let's also highlight this demand down here. So this is it. And all right, this is what we are looking at. Okay. So now let's look at the 1 minute over here. And what do we have? So we have a lot of imbalance left here, even from the 1 minute perspective. Here we've got a lovely flip that the price initially did. Wow, that was amazing. It swept those lows, gave a change of character, and then it reacted from the discount. So it gave a flip entry here, and then it shot to the upside. So an entry from here would have been absolutely phenomenal, even with 5 pips. Wow. Okay, beautiful. Then the price moved really strongly up, and what we can see is that this is our area. And honestly, with my refinement, I'm just going to go like this and cover those little wicks. So it's very much similar to 15 minutes, but with 15 minutes now, because I just highlighted the wick before, I'm going to take the lows into consideration as always. I always like taking lows into consideration. However, this internal leg is mitigated, so this is where we should kind of be looking for the price to do its thing. Then we can see that price created the high, pulled back, took that high out, and then we had a lot of pullbacks. So I'm just going to highlight the path for you. So we had price creating internal high, low. Here it didn't take it high. Then we had some inefficiency. Then price came back, created the low. Then this was equal highs, and eventually price went to the upside. Okay, so it's given us a little bit of more clarity. So from the 1 minute perspective as well, this is the first 1 minute area too. So, this area, like especially if we come back into the refinement, very happy to take it. Were these highs, hold on, taken out? Yes, they were. All right. So then we had a pullback. Hold on. Pullback. And then price went to the upside. So this is actually the internal swing. We do have an inside bar here that could be responsible for price reacting when price sweeps that liquidity, but I'm be more looking for the price to come back into 15 minutes. Then I think, is this mitigated? Low, high? It is. And is this mitigated? It is. So everything's here on 1 minute mitigated. Okay. This is mitigated, this is mitigated. The only area that is not is this area here. I'm just going to highlight here that we may see a reaction. All right. And this is where I'll be looking to buy from. However, as I said, we do have a lot of liquidity. That liquidity could be grabbed, and then the price could travel all the way down here. So I will be looking at the moment for short-term sells to then get into long-term buys. That is kind of my, plan for the markets. This is what I want to do. So that is what I am going to go with. Now, that is it really in terms of what we are doing with the current price action. It's actually pretty nice. I feel like we've got a really nice sense of direction. Again, I just want to highlight to you, let's look at 4H, and I'll see that a few things I've not hidden. Chalk. I'm going to do it straight away, so our charts are really nice and clean for the rest of the week. Then this here, visibility, there. Sweep can stay. This can go there. This can go hours, minutes only, and this break of structure can go because this is a break of structure on 15 minutes only and not on 4H. Now that's lovely. It's clean now, and I'm gonna do my very best, guys, to keep my charts as clean as possible. This sweep can stay. This liquidity here, I guess it can stay. The imbalance can stay. Everything else is clean. Now, from the 4H perspective, I just want to highlight to you that we have tapped into 4H point of interest. Okay, so this is the way that we would be looking at the price action. And, you know, it could be now that the price, after finally actually tapping into that 4H point of interest, that the price could be moving down, and we'll want to, you know, take these lows out. But at the moment, we have to observe price from both perspectives. So I will be engaging in sales until we get back to the discount and see if I can get into buys. At the moment, sells, then buys, and then that is the plan.